So my name's Corey, and I'll be helping you out this evening. That's what I typically say to people because I've been in the service industry for 20 years. I started as a busser, obviously under the table. I was very illegal of age at that point. But I've been a cook, I've been a host, and for the last 10 years or so, I've been serving and bartending. And I mean, it's the best thing that I've ever done. I love it. But they teach you in the very beginning, the very first thing they say is the customer is always right. And that is bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. Everyone that I train, every server, bartender, I tell them that first thing. It's more likely that the customer will always forget how to read a menu as soon as you lay it in front of them, or the customer will always forget that they wanted a side of sauce, even though you asked them if they wanted it, and they said, no, I'm fine. And then when you deliver the food, they're like, oh, could I get that side? And you make that extra trip for them. So that's another piece. And then the customer will always have another request as soon as you bring that side of sauce. So now you've added 2 extra trips that you didn't have to do if they just asked you for what they wanted in the very beginning. But I love the service industry, and it's taught me how to handle stress, how to deal with crazy things on the fly, how to give people what they want to be happy, and how to own up to mistakes, even if that means throwing the cooks under the bus because it's so much easier than saying you made the mistake. But the biggest mistake I've made in restaurants has really been with the cooks, not even the customers. I had a party of 30 that I was going to be serving, and I was really excited because, one, that's money. I love that. But it was a party of 30 that was being very difficult, and I love working with difficult people because I feel like I can help everyone and make them happy and all of that. I truly believe that. But they had asked for a special menu beforehand. They had a lot of other weird things that they wanted ahead of time, and I was happy to do all of that for them because I'm a really good server. So I was able to do all those things for them. They came in. They were very easy for me to work with. I had gotten their full order, and I had put their order in, which is half the battle. It was up to the kitchen now. They were making the food. But when you have a party of 30 people, at the same time, you need help from the rest of the team in the restaurant. I needed people to pour my drinks, and that was the issue. The owner and the bartender were arguing in the dining room, not in front of the private party, but in the rest of the dining room where all the other customers were, just arguing in front of everyone. And that is really embarrassing because it's not a good look at all. And my biggest thing is like, why right now? Please no, I need help. And my first thought is to ask them to just go into the prep area. Please, can you go back there so you're not in front of the customers? And the owner and the bartender obliged. And I was so excited because that means I get to pour my own drinks and I don't have to worry about them. So I was able to catch up and I delivered the drinks, and I felt really good, except for the fact that I said to people who had this much drink, did you want to get a refill? And they said no. And then I get back and they're like, oh, I'd like a refill, please. So it is what it is, and I'm happy to get their refills, but I'm not happy for it, but it's inside. At the same time, meanwhile, everyone in the rest of the pub has not gotten any service because the owner and the bartender are in their prep room still arguing. My buzzer goes off, which means my food is ready, and I'm excited. I'm in the home stretch. I go back there. I am taking this huge tray and loading it with basically half the food for this table right next to this huge argument. I can't even put faces to plates because I can't hear myself think because there's this big argument. And in the midst of all of that, I just dropped the entire tray. Everything hits the ground, plates break, food ruined, but everything goes silent. And meanwhile, I've never dropped a tray ever. In 20 years of being in restaurants, never dropped a tray of anything. And I dropped this tray, and everything got silent. I looked at the cook. I looked at Jeff and Kate. I look back at the cook. I say, I'm so sorry. I'm going to need all of that on the fly. And I will come back there and help you as soon as I have the opportunity. I know Jeff and Kate didn't learn a goddamn thing that day. Still haven't. Still work with them. But the biggest thing I'm grateful about is the fact that they were able to go back out and help their customers, and more importantly, pour the drinks I still needed to get to my customers. Thank you.